Welcome to Lesson 3 of our HTML course. What we will learn in Lesson 3 will be, we're going to learn about sitemaps, wireframes, file organization, content, and vision. The new words of the day will be sitemap, homepage, index HTML, wireframe, page layout, folder, HTML files, CSS files, images, and content. So the very first thing that we're going to discuss is a sitemap. So what a sitemap does, it basically guides the visitor to your website, how they're going to navigate your site. We're going to have a very simple sitemap. We're going to have a home page and on our navigational bar, we're going to have like our home page, and then from there we're going to have links to take us to page 2 and page 3. So it's going to be super simple, but it's basically giving the visitors directions of how to get to different places from within your website. Okay. Wireframes, designing your page layout. Think of your header. It gives you an opportunity to think like, where do I want to place my header? Where do I want to place my navigational bar? How will things be sectioned in throughout my body? Like, how big do I want my text to be? Where do I want to place my images? I'm going to give you a few examples of a couple of wireframes. So this very first wireframe, it's got the header at the very top. It's in a very big font. Right below it, there's a navigational bar with the links to their homepage, page 2 and page 3. Then it's going to have a heading, probably like an H2 here, and then a paragraph. This one has 2 images, and then it's going to have like maybe another shorter paragraph with the footer at the very bottom. This wireframe has got the header flush to the far left, and it's not that big, and then it's got the navigational bar also below it. Now you'll see that the way that this layout is, it seems like there's 3 columns, column 1, column 2, and column 3. In the very first column, they have a paragraph. Second column, they have an image with another paragraph below it. And the third column, they have an image with a list below it. And then the footer at the very bottom. Here's another example. And this one, they have the header at the top with the navigational bar flush to the far right. And here they're placing a hero image. So this image would actually stretch from one side of the page all the way to the horizontally to the right side with 3 columns below it and the footer at the very bottom. Okay. We are going to have a simple wireframe. We will place our header up at the very top. We'll have our navigational bar right below it. We'll have a paragraph below the nav bar, and then we're going to have an image, and we're going to have our list items right below that with our footer at the bottom. Okay. Something that's important is organizing your project. So we're going to have like a main folder project, which is nice with Replit is that the site that we're using is basically like our main folder right now. And other code editors, you would have possibly a folder just for your HTML. And then I'm going to point out to you your CSS, where our CSS is going to be at. And we will add an image folder. And what you're basically going to be doing is in your HTML folder, you're going to add your files. And you will have in your main project, you're going to have in the end 3 files of HTML. One for your index page, one for your page 2, and your page 3. And then in your CSS file, you're not going to really have a folder because we're keeping everything in one main folder, but you will have a CSS file, and I'll point that out in our hands-on video. And we're going to add an image folder, and we're going to start placing images that's related to your your website topic in that folder. We're going to start adding images there. Okay, and it's really important that you keep keep all your files really nicely organized so that everything's in one place and you know where to go. Where's the source to that specific, if it's an HTML file, if it's an CSS file, or it's images, you know exactly where they're at. The next thing I want to discuss is going to be content. That's the information that you want to share with your audience, and it should be interesting and engaging because you want people to come and visit your site. You want them to, show them what it is that you're talking about. So we want to make sure that we write, interesting topics. We have interesting pictures, whether it's, and if you're talking about, like, let's say images of some art that you do, or whatever it is that you're placing on your website, you want it to be captivating and just draw your audience in. So content's really important, because if you go to the site and there's nothing that's interesting to you or intriguing, you're going to leave it, right? So we want to make sure that we're writing interesting and fun stuff in there. So my question to you is going to be is, what's your website going to display? And that all begins with a vision. And you could have a website that's about baking, right? You could have, there's food blogs, so you could do a baking one, cooking, if that's something you're interested in. Since we're going to have 3 pages on our website, you could have 3 recipes and talk about why they're your favorite recipes. Maybe it's a family recipe, or it's a special holiday recipe. What we talk about music, talk about if you play an instrument, or if your favorite band or musician. That could be a really interesting topic. Hobbies, right? Any hobbies or sports that you play, those are things could be interesting. And or fashion, that's something that a lot of people enjoy doing. So this is going to be an opportunity to start thinking about what are things that you're going to be talking about, and start writing about those things, and start thinking about what's going to be on my home page. And then from there, I'm going to link them to, they can go to my page 2, and what's going to be page 2 about. But we're going to keep a theme. And then page 3, what's going to be your page 3 about? So start writing, start looking for images. They could be your own images that you're going to upload from your phone. But this is going to be something that's going to be all about you, and something you want to share with your friends and family. That concludes this video. It's a very short one, because I want you to spend some time thinking about your topic and start working on that. Because at this point, once you have that information, we're going to start placing it into your site. I do have a hands-on lesson 3 video, and on that video, we're just going to build a little bit more from what we had on lesson 2. Okay, see you in the next video.